Hey y'all, so I'm up in the garden and I thought I'd go ahead and give you a garden tour. Nothing is getting really big yet, but it's kind of fun to look back at the progress from week to week. So I guess I will start down here with my tomatoes. I have, I think, 196 tomato plants. The first 2 rows, if not more, are all Tachi tomatoes, which are a hybrid saucing tomato. We typically do all heirloom tomatoes, but this year we decided to try a hybrid saucing so we can really get a lot of sauce, because we've done some heirloom saucing tomatoes and we always have problems with blossom end rot and splitting. So we decided, you know, we're just going to go with these this year and try them out and see how they do. And we have those 3 rows trellised with cattle panels. We actually have 2 more cattle panels that we forgot at the old farm. We got to go get them. We happened upon them. We went by to get a few things that we forgot and they were there. So I was like, oh, we need to bring these home. So we're going to get those, and we need to figure out trellising because we have 3 whole rows not trellised, and everything's okay right now, but give it another week and we will have tomatoes all over the ground, and that's not gonna be good. We need to get them trellised. I'm actually planning on going through and pruning them all. I started pruning some this week, just here and there, but I need to prune all of them except for the Tachis are determinate, so they'll just grow and produce what they're going to produce. You don't prune determinate tomatoes, but indeterminates will continue producing as long as they're growing through the whole growing season. So we knew somebody who had an indeterminate tomato in a greenhouse for, how long did they have it, 2 years or more? I don't remember.
It was over 2 years.
It was a long time, and it kept producing. So these obviously aren't going to produce for 2 years. They're going to produce for the season because they're outside. But we need to get them trellised. I'm going to get them pruned. And then look at my cucumbers. Last year we had terrible time with cucumbers. We have more germinated in one planting than we had last year, and we planted 3 or 4 times last year, and we had, like, I don't even know if we got 10 jars of pickles. It was about 10, Emma? Yeah, maybe 10 jars. It was terrible. So I have something called a silver slicer, which is a white looking cucumber, and I've heard about them through Jess at Roots and Refuge, and she says that they're really great for pickling and for eating fresh. So I was like, well, they sound good. And then we have the Be It Alpha, which I think I heard about from doTERRA at Appalachia's Homestead with doTERRA, and they're supposed to be really great and really prolific. They're both heirlooms, so we're going to try those. And we have found that we do, I don't know how kosher it is, we do the what is it, the pasteurization, low heat pastures, I can't remember. I'm looking at Derek, I'm like, what is it we do?
I don't know.
The low heat pasteurization method, canning our pickles instead of just, it's water bath, but you don't bring it to a boil. You keep it at a certain temperature. I'd have to look it up, for a longer period of time. And we found that doing that makes crisper pickles. And I think we're going to pickle them whole, like pick them smaller and do all whole, because when you slice them up, they end up getting mushy. So that's kind of what we're going to do this year and try it. But I'm really, really excited to see how they do. And they're doing great so far. Obviously, we need to weed. We haven't been up here to weed. We need to do that. And then on that side and down on this end, we have peppers. We had something come through and eat the tops off of a bunch of our peppers, but
I think it was a deer.
Yeah, a lot of them came back. There's a few that didn't, but they came back. So we have some blooms coming up. I think these are all Anaheim chilies right here. I have a bunch of Anaheim chilies. I have a lot of bell peppers. I have some poblanos. I have shishitos. We've never tried those. I think I have 6 or 7 of those. We have I did end up with some sweet bananas. They're about this big that I sprouted. We bought some jalapenos. They didn't do great. Something ate them, but then they started to come back. Then we bought more jalapeno peppers because we thought those ones were going to die. And we planted them and we didn't water them because we forgot. We were really busy and we just stuck them in the ground. But it had just rained. And then we came up here last night and they were like laying on their sides. They look better today. We watered them last night. They look better today. So I think they're going to be all right. But we have lots of, I think I have 1 peppercini maybe. They didn't do great, and then 1 Chinese 5-color that Josiah loves to grow those. They're really hot. They're pretty. They're all different colors, but they are like burn you up hot, but he loves them, so he always grows those. We've grown them for years. And then we have some ground cherries down there, and as you can see, everything's small. They're not producing anything yet because we are in zone 6A, so we're not real far into our summer gardening season. Normally we'd be ahead of this because we were in zone 7A, so we're about a month difference in the climate for our planting dates and frost dates. So everything looks really good. I'm really pleased with it. I'm excited about it. I feel like we're gonna have a lot of production and do a lot of preserving.
Going across the rows.
Yes.
Breaking the rules.
This is what I tell the kids. Don't go across the rows like that. We have 15 or 16 okras. They're doing pretty good. They look good. We can always plant more okra if we decide that we need more, but I think that's probably pretty good. And then squash we have, I don't remember how many we have, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 or 6, but I went through and replanted. Don't see any sprouts yet, but I went in and just replanted. I think it was straight neck yellow squash. All heirloom seeds that we use for that. Again, here's our jalapenos I was telling you about, the first ones we bought. There's 5. You can see this is the one that's coming back. But a deer ate it off. Just bit them right off. This one you can see the top is gone. That top is gone. So I think they'll do okay.
They were just bare stems.
Yeah, they were completely bare stems, but they started growing leaves. So we were like, well, we'll leave them and see what they do. And then this
big behemoth, right?
It's curling up. That was my peppercini. We need to water that. And then, nope, his Chinese 5 colors curled up and died.
Well,
so we don't even have any of those for him this year. That's a bummer. They're hard. They don't germinate well, and they're really slow germinating, and they grow really slow. So we usually plant a bunch, start a bunch, and then end up with like a couple plants. But we don't have any. And these
not
are
this year.
These are my banana peppers.
All the way out to.
There's 6. I think we had 8, so 2 of them died. And then we got these tall ones are the jalapenos we bought. They already have blooms on them. We just bought them.
Well, they look way better than last time.
We just bought them from a farm co-op. They're not organic or anything, but it's one of those things. It was like I prefer to do all organic plants and heirloom and all that, but when you get to the point where you're like, you're not going to even have anything, because I'd planted jalapenos 3 times and none of them even sprouted. I guess my seeds are bad. I don't know. So I was like, you know what? I'd rather buy them and have some. We're growing them organically, but I'd rather have them than not have them. So, and then we have our green beans, which have germinated pretty well. They really need water. We're going to water everything today. We've got to haul water up. There's Jack. We have to haul water up on Jack's truck in the water tank and use a generator to pump it. So it's kind of the process to get things watered right now. At some point we're going to run water up here, but today is not that day. So, but our green beans have sprouted pretty good. We might come in and throw a few more on the ground where we have some bare patches and see. We'll wait and see how they do. Make sure we have a lot. We had Jacob and Hope helping us a lot, so they may be buried a little deeper or something in some spots. But all of this looks good. These 2 rows, and then we have our potatoes are looking great. So Friend gave us a 50-pound bag of Pembroke seed potatoes, and we came through and planted these 2 rows of them. And I mean, they look really good. If you watch that video, Derek did it. He actually dug down and built up a dome of dirt because the ground is so hard, so we can hill them and grow them upward because the ground is really hard and rocky. You can just see there's tons of rocks.
And they need to be covered again.
And they do need it. We need to hill them. But they're doing great.
Yeah, they are.
They look good. The one thing we don't have this year is sweet potatoes. We're not too late yet, so I don't know if we can find some slips. We might make a sweet potatoes. We love sweet potatoes, but it's one of those things. This year's been crazy with moving, so I don't know if we're gonna end up getting sweet potatoes or not. We'll just have to see. I'd like to. And this is the cole plants. These were the ones we decided not to plant that Josiah and Kylie adopted, and they've put them in here. Everything really needs water. We're gonna water. It rained a couple days ago, but it's just been such a dry season where I think we may actually be technically in drought or close to it. I know we're below the average rainfall for the year, so the entire region is. So we really need some rain. They had some peppers they put in, which are just duplicates of everything. Oh, there's a cayenne. So I might have 2 cayennes.
Okay.
So they put those in, and then there were some melons we didn't put in, and pumpkins and stuff. So they've got them here. Again, obviously they need water. And then we put corn all through here, and it's starting to sprout. There's not a ton sprouted, but there's a couple little spriggles of corn. And then there's more down on that end. But it's starting to sprout. We've got more corn seed. We were going to originally plant corn and melons over where we have our pigs. And then we kind of nixed that idea, but I think we're going back to that idea. So we're going to move pigs. And then we have 1.5 pounds or so of corn seed. we're gonna go up there and we're gonna do an experiment. We're gonna get the pigs out, till up the ground, broadcast it, just broadcast it, and then till over, because our tractor tiller only tills like 2 inches. It's not, the tines are worn out, and so just kind of get them mixed in and then wet it down and see how it does. So that'll be interesting to see how it does. We're gonna do that hopefully this weekend. We'll get that done within the next couple of days.
Yes.
And we have melons over here. Some I transplanted, some seeds I started, and so far they're doing well. Again, we made these hills. This is how we did last year. We made hills, put down the landscape fabric, burned holes, and put our melons in. We have cantaloupe, watermelon, loofah gourds, acorn squash, butternut squash, candy roaster squash, Big Mac's pumpkins, sugar pie pumpkins, and winter luxury pumpkins. And then we have a pear melon that Smee gave me. I'm not really sure what it is, but and we have some Kajari melons and just several different varieties of watermelon and cantaloupe type melons too. So, but this is all, like, we got a sprout here. This is a watermelon. Nothing here yet. It's like, so it's so dry, so hopefully we'll get some germination. We have some germinating here. But yeah, they look pretty good. They were really needing to go in the ground. They were getting really yellow when we planted them, and they perked up. So I'm really happy about that, because I was like, not sure about these melons now. And then over here, I'm gonna step over, our onions a friend gave us up here. These are looking great. The ones down the bottom are not looking so good. The chickens kind of gotten them, and I'm not really sure. It just didn't do great. Lydia's little marigolds over there in the corner. Oops.
Right there, show me marigold, Lydia.
With her berry shirt. She picked some berries yesterday and stained her shirt up. And the one that she planted on the other end that Jack accidentally mowed over because he didn't know it was there is coming back. So she has another marigold. And then Emma has put in flowers right here. I'm not sure what all. Oh, these are all zinnias. Yeah, she's put in a ton of zinnias right here. So they're coming up. She's got some other flowers. I think she had one bachelor's button come up. I don't know what else. And I put calendula here. It's starting to come up. There's a few coming up, so I'm excited about them. Calendula are great medicinally. You dry them and infuse them in oil. It's really, really good for your skin. So I'm excited to grow those. And she just has more flowers. And then we have dill. We bought 2 dill. There's this one and that one. And because ours weren't coming up, and now we have little sprouts of dill everywhere, so we should have plenty of dill.
That's awesome.
More dill than
we've never had enough dill to do our pickles and stuff with.
No, we've grown it, but we need to be able to save some. Yeah, dry it and save it, and then have it for our pickles. So I'm excited about that. And then we have some sunflowers she put in over there. They're supposed to be mammoth, but. And
with the dill, you just kind of broadcasted it, and that seems to be the best way. It's just growing so well. And that's kind of where I got.
We'll have a patch of wild dill over here, which I'll be fine with. Shouldn't have to. In theory, I shouldn't have to plant it again, because it should just keep coming back. A friend of mine years ago, she had done that, and they had tons of dill, and I went over there and got some and brought it. That's what I did use that year for all of my pickles. She had so much that she used it, and I used it, and just kept coming back. So.
And that's kind of where I got the idea to try this with the corn, because we don't plant our corn in real like row crop style anyway.
No, we do it like square foot method.
So it's like 3 per square, or 4 per square foot. 4 per square foot. So I just kind of got the idea to just broadcast it and see what it does.
Yep.
It's kind of getting late in the year, but I just wanted to try it and see.
Yep. So I need to prune tomatoes and water the garden. So I'm gonna go do that. Alright, thanks for joining me for this garden tour. I'm gonna plan to do one of these hopefully every week and kind of keep you guys up with what's growing in the garden, how it's going, and all of that exciting stuff for the summer. And I appreciate y'all. If you're not already subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe to the channel. If you give me a thumbs up, YouTube will know you're enjoying what you see. If you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified every time we upload a video. And please comment below, let me know what you're growing this year or what you think of my garden, and I guess I'll catch you guys next time.